Greetings, I'm Zak, and today we're going to take another look at the PSP UMD movies that I brought up in a previous video, because that has actually proved to be a rather popular topic, and as such, I did want to kind of further my points that I made in that particular video, and also discuss the fact that I came up with a bit of a storage conundrum based upon the fact that I'd basically got a collection of these UMD movies that were essentially loose. If I just grab one here we have 28 weeks later. Now, what do I do with this? How do I store this? Where do I put it? Do I just make a neat pile on the side and just go, yep, that's where my UMD discs are? Now, personally, having basically got them at Christmas, I wasn't happy with them just kind of sitting there like that. So it kind of inspired me to look into storage solutions when it came to the UMD discs. Now, when it comes to PSPs, and PSP games, of course, obviously there are various things that people can do, various like zip up cases and things, but in that sense, sure, it can store them. Like, you can get a little pouch that can fit about 6 or so in, or like a little like hole that's like this kind of size. You can like click them in and then play, watch, and etc. on the go. My initial idea on that particular front was to get some empty UMD case boxes, because they come quite cheap. I think it was around £10 to get 10 of them off of eBay and the like. However, obviously, they wouldn't be with the cover art of like this, like 300. It's got some nice cover art on there with the UMD disc inside. And I thought having, it was about 12-13 of those empty, just that kind of takes up quite a lot of space. And I have actually got a couple more additions to the UMD movie collection based upon that video, because it was so popular. But I'll get to that in a moment after I've talked about the storage solution. So, in that sense, I looked at pouches, looked at all these different things, but there seemed to be no reliable way of getting such things new, or indeed in any great quantity, other than like 1 or 2, and then if I decided later down the line I wanted to get another one, it would be a different design, and I wasn't particularly okay with that, considering they are basically hard cases like this. You can't see what's inside them, so you've basically got to work off of memory. And when it comes to physical media collecting, what's the one thing we like doing? We love putting them on the shelves, we love seeing them and viewing them in their whole glory. So, with that conundrum in mind, I did come across like a happy medium that I'm quite chuffed with. Now, it is something I can get in great quantity. It should that be the case, if I get any more loose UMD discs. But it is indeed this rack. It says PSP on the front. Now, you will notice that this is a 3D printed rack specifically designed for UMD discs. It fits rather nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, look at that. That does look pretty swish, and you can literally just chuck that on the shelf. I actually store these now a bit further down that way, next to the Sure Scope Volume 1 on the front of the shelf. Now, I found this is a very good happy medium. It was relatively cheap, and it's a good way of storing it, being able to see the artwork on the loose discs. So, there you go. Last Exorcism of Emily Rose, Kung Fu Hustle, 7. I think that's cheaper by the dozen at the back. Bender's big score. So there we are. That's basically my storage solution for the loose ones in that case. It was around, I think, £10 for this rack. Might have even been cheaper. It's been a while since I got it, but I thought I'd share that with you guys, and it's very easily and readily available. Just search on eBay, UMD storage rack, and you should be able to find it with relative ease. So design-wise, feature-wise, I think this is a pretty cool addition to add to the old UMD movies. However, ladies and gentlemen, this does move me on to the next part of this particular video. So I did explain in the first video that I did why I really like the UMDs, why it's kind of like a retro physical media format now, how, considering quality and everything, there really isn't that much of a collector's market for them at this point in time, which means that the actual unit price of them at the moment for collectors is pretty cheap, which is what really drove me to pick up a few more of them. So in this particular instance, there's kind of like a comparison of markets here, and I did come up with some actually quite surprising information regarding this. So first off, I have a small pile that I got off of eBay. So this was secondhand. I believe I got, if I bought 4, I got a 5th one free. So let's just go through them. We have The Descent, Underworld Special Edition, both very great movies. Sin City, also another one I've seen, it'd be worth watching again. Final Fantasy Advent Children. Now I remember watching the trailer adverts on a lot of the Godzilla DVDs growing up, and I always saw this and I thought it was initially a game, and apparently it's like a cross-media franchise that I have literally not even delved into by any means. So I thought this would be an interesting like introduction to it, because I think there might be like the first one might be on UMD as well, so I might have to pick that up, but I have seen the trailers for this and this did look kind of cool. So basically that will be worth a watch at some point, and hopefully in the not too distant future. Which brings me on to the last one of the eBay purchases of the UMD discs, and that is a rather bizarre thing actually. I think it's the only kind of real TV series one I've got of this particular collection of mine. It is The Water Margin. Now this is very much like a classic martial arts TV series from the 70s. It features 3 episodes from the entire series. They basically, I'm not sure if they are in order at all, but basically it's a best of kind of compilation of 3 of the episodes. 9 Dozen Heroes and 1 Wicked Man, Escape is Not Freedom, and Heaven Aims the Master's Arrow. Cool. I have seen a couple of episodes of The Water Margin. I have got the full collection on Blu-ray, but I thought it was just a weird little oddity to have something so like niche on UMD disc, because let's not forget that these came out in a very small space of time, and they basically got outmoded and became redundant really rather quickly, all things considered. But in all, of these five, it cost me the grand sum of around £12 to £15. So basically £3 a piece, so 3, 6, 9, 12, yeah, basically £3 kind of pounds a piece on this particular bundle here. Now moving on to actually CX, I found a CX local to me that did actually store a lot of these UMD movies, much to my surprise, because I had looked at another one, no sign of them whatsoever, but in this particular one that I visited, there was a small section of these UMD movies that I was actually really chuffed at finding. And it is very strange, actually, that CX has seemingly kind of developed the retro physical media. I've seen a couple of board games for sale in there as well, so they really are expanding their horizons when it comes to like physical media and stuff, which is nice to see, because there is a market for them. It's not a big market, but there is a market for like retro physical media, different like outmoded sources of physical media, so it is nice that they actually did have a little section for it. So basically bringing me on to that, I'm going to go through these now. I got Platoon, Wanted, The Dark Knight, Reservoir Dogs. Thank you very much, Jack, for introducing me to this film, and it's very nice and I really enjoy it. The Simpsons movie, of course, I had to have it somewhere along the line. The original Transformers movie, Gran Torino, with obviously Clint Eastwood, which I've been highly recommended in the past several times, so I thought, why not pick it up on this weird little obscure physical media? So I did. Mad Max, I'll get back to that in a minute. The original Mad Max, that is. Predator, of course. I had Alien, of course, and Alien vs Predator, so I thought I'd pad that bit of the collection out with Predator on UMD disc. And Beowulf. Now, the interesting thing when it comes to these, and proof in the pudding that there really is zero market for them, is that the trade-in price at CEX is exactly the same as the money they would give you in exchange for it. And that is the grand sum of, per UMD video, 1p. So you'd get a voucher for 1p per UMD that you basically handed in, or the equivalent of 1p in basically money. So that tells me that there is a very, very dwindling market for them, if there's even a market for them at all. I mean, I basically picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these for the grand sum of £20, which so that's basically £2 a piece. So comparatively to the eBay purchases, it was far cheaper. But if we consider that £6 of that was spent on the Mad Max, I think the cheapest I got on any one of these UMDs from CEX was around 50p. Lots of them were at the pound mark, and very few were over that. The most expensive of them was Mad Max for £6. And I thought, I really do like Mad Max. I'm a big Mad Max fan, so I thought, you know what? It's there, I may as well take it and give it a good home. That's what I did. So I found that quite interesting, actually, how CX really didn't, like... I mean, I feel as if they were basically just selling them because they had them and not the other way around, because they themselves see no value and they would give you the minimum value back to sell them to them. So I'm glad I gave these a good home to add them to my collection, but much like I said in my previous video, I'm not sure there's too big of a market, especially like publicly, that people collect these. But I will say, if you are one of those people that really likes UMD video movies, I would recommend highly to check out the sales and stuff they have on at CEX, because you can pick up an awful lot, and I have looked online as well, an awful lot of them are like 50p, and I'm not sure what the free postage limit is on CEX when you order online, but I think it was around, last time I ordered something off of them, must have been about £10 or so, so that's immediately like 20 of these for 50p. and you've basically got free postage. So I think it's a little winner here when it comes to collecting these, because I think they are a very niche little thing, and I do enjoy them, and I do think they are worth like having a little small resurgence there. But at this current time, it is definitely the time to collect them, because they're really, really cheap, especially at CEX comparatively to the likes of eBay. Because talking equivalents here, each one of these from CEX would be the equivalent of £1 less than the ones off of eBay, considering how much I paid on each of the bundles. So, based upon that fact, I think it would be fun if people like seriously picked up the UMD video market, because there is going to be a point where they are going to be like sought after. They are going to become rare, especially comparatively. Let's just go to the likes of Laserdiscs, VHS. They're all collectible now. I mean, even vinyl, for goodness sake, that had a complete resurgence, and the unit price on those is just crazy, just absolutely crazy. Whereas these, they're still like a little niche. I'm pretty sure there's a good proportion of people that don't even know that these are even a thing, because like when you think PSP, PlayStation, you don't think of like a specific like way of watching a specific movie on a specific format for this specific thing, because obviously it's far easier to just have the likes of a PSP, PS3, PS5, whatever, and just slap a DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and whatever. That's what the norm is now. And well, you say that people are trying to do away with physical media altogether. So, all in all, I think the best thing is, even if it isn't your cup of tea, maybe give it a go if you can get your hands on a PSP somewhere along the line, because it is a bit of fun, and they are extremely cheap, especially from CEX. So, all that said and done, I think the highlights, especially of these particular bundles that I got, that's a tough one. From the CEX bundles, my favourites have got to be Predator and indeed Mad Max, because I never expected to find the original Mad Max on UMD disc, so basically I just had to pick it up when I could, because I have seen other ones on eBay and the like that are a bit more pricey on that particular front. However, from the eBay bundle, I will kind of point out The Descent. Great horror movie. If you haven't seen The Descent, definitely pick it up on DVD if you haven't. But basically, because I like The Descent so much, that's why I got it again on UMD disc. And the Final Fantasy thing, I haven't heard anything regarding this. I've seen plenty of trailers and things surrounding it, but I've never seen any positive or negative like critical reaction to any of the Final Fantasy stuff. So if you know anything about that and would like to share it with me, please let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, if there's anything else UMD disc-wise or retro physical media, I have got a massive pile. Well, I'm not going to pick it up too much. I've got a pile of laser discs over there in that corner that I picked up that I would love to share with you in a future video. So if you'd like to see those, that would be absolutely fantastic, and please let me know if you would like to see them, because I'd love to share it with you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little UMD video, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you in the next one.